Namaskar. Welcome to this session on Durvasana Pratikar Dashakam. We start with the gratitude towards the Lord, with whose grace everything is possible. We pay our tributes and respects to the Guru Shishya Parampara, with whose grace this knowledge is preserved, passed on since generations, and is available to us today. I pay my respects to my Guruji, Puja Guruma, with whose grace I am able to learn the scriptures and share this understanding with you. We start with a prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Durvasana Pratikar Dashakam. This is a very beautiful small grantha of Vedanta, and it itself is for all the sadhakas, for all the seekers, as an initial grantha. Durvasana itself, the word means Durvasana. Vasana means some kind of Ichha. But this Ichha is not something that has been given proper thought. It is without thinking when we indulge in fulfillment of our desires. That is a kind of a Vasana. And those Vasanas, the Durvasana means these are the not so good or the bad ones, the Vasanas that we all have. And in our Shastras, it is described that there are 6 such Durvasana. These are also called, these are the vices that we call in English. These are the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So Kama is Kamana, Krodha is anger, Lobha is greed, Moha is attachment, delusions, Mada is ego, or Ahankara, Matsarya is envy, jealousy. So these are the Shad Ripu in our Shastra, and Pratikara of these Durvasanas is to defend ourselves from these wrong habits that we have developed over years of our life, many lives, and this they form inside us as sanskaras, as impressions, as chapa in our mind, in our antakarana, which we carry from one janma to the other. This is a sukshma sharira, the part of the sukshma sharira which does gati, which does its onward journey after the death of this mortal body, stula sharira. So this is where all these sanskaras they remain and they manifest in our life. Dashakam means these are a samuh, a sangrah, or a collection of 10 shlokas, and this grantha is written by Swami Vidyaranya Muniji, who was a very great Vedantic scholar. And there is a definite link in our Shastra between the Vasana that we all have, this kind of sukshma, which are very subtle. Sometimes we are not even aware of these Vasanas that are there in our mind, in our self. And these Vasanas, they produce a kind of vritti when the Indriya causes the, there is a contact with the Vishaya. These kind of vrittis are created in our mind, and from these there is a vichara, thought that arises in our mind to have something or to achieve something, and then or to let go of something, and this leads to the vyavhara, the actions, the karma. And these, once we do this karma, then there is these sanskaras, vritti, this vrittis, this vichara, this karma, all these produces the samskaras which remain in there as a memory. And then whenever a similar incident happens, then there is an automatic response, which in the scientific terminology is called heuristics, whenever there is an automatic response. But here, these sanskaras, and that's how we continue our life, we continue without being aware about these kind of durvasanas that are there inside, and these are the biggest obstacles for us for our progress in either spiritual or worldly life. And this creates most of the problems in our life, even with our own near and dear ones, with our colleagues at work. And the purpose of these Durvasana Pratikar Dashakam, this grantha, is to cleanse our mind of these dirt which has been accumulated over years, over many lives. And unless we remove this dirt, we cannot progress on this spiritual path, because this is a very sukshma path, which is a very subtle path where the entire journey is to go inwards, to clean our inner self, and this progress will not happen unless we remove these vices. In the Shastriya language, this is called the first step of the spiritual journey, called Doshapanayanam, means to remove these doshas that we have, all these bad habits that are there in our mind. We have to remove them. Only then the Sadguna Sampatti, the Sadguna, the good virtues that we all need, the Sat Karma, Sat virtues, or all these Sadgunas will come in our mind. So this is the process of the spiritual journey, and it starts from this Durvasana Pratikar. So that is the first step of the spiritual journey, and it's very important to have this awareness, because most of the times we are not aware how we react, how we behave, and that's why here in this Adhyatma Yatra we have to go more inwards, more antarmukha. We have to, very subtly introspect ourselves, find out what is going on, why we behave in a certain way. And it is common knowledge that everybody has guna and dosha, both. All of us are bestowed with several virtues and several vices also. And it is good to see virtues in others, but here we have to also learn from these virtues wherever we see. And on the on this Adhyatmic path also, when we listen to all the kathas, all the characters of all the great saints, munis, bhaktas, devotees, the best thing is to learn from this, all these katha, Bhagwan ki Leela, Shravan, how they had these Satgunas and how we can impart these virtues. But the important thing is that each one of us has also certain doshas, and it is very important that we don't focus too much on the dosha of others. We don't see the follies in others. That should not be our goal. And one Subhashita, it says, the Sajjan is the person who sees the virtues in others, and Durjan is the person who sees the doshas in others. So these are the definition of Sajjana and Durjana. So it's very important that we may see some dosha in others, but that should be limited to how we can learn and implement in our life, that we don't also have these doshas, that those situations arises, we also don't fall into that kind of a trap. And for all these, introspection, Guruji says that introspection is the most important sadhana. Every day we should spend at least 10 minutes for introspecting ourselves, our life, our day, how we are behaving, how we react, where we are going, what we are utilizing our time, what fruitful did we do in that day. So these are all the questions we need to ask. So let us start with the first shloka of Durvasana Pratikar Dashakam. Prata Vaidika Karma Tastadhanusat Vedanta Sanchintaya Paschat Bharata Moksha Dharma Kathaya Vasishtha Ramayana Sayam Bhagavatartha Tattva Kathaya Ratrau Nididhyasana Kalo Gacchatu Nah Sharira Bharanam Prarabdha Kantharpitam. So here the structure of these shlokas is that there will be one Durvasana, and then a method, a solution will be shown how to pratikar, how to take care of this Durvasana. So one Durvasana, one pratikar, one Durvasana, one pratikar. That is how this entire thing will go. The first shloka is more focused on our lifestyle, where we must attain a balance between the worldly lifestyle and a spiritual lifestyle, and that is the essence how we can balance our life. So it says Prata Vaidika Karma Tasta Tanusat, means let my morning time be used for some kind of Vedic karmas. Vedic karmas, during the Vedic time there were many Vedic karmas, the Kartavya karmas, all these, a lot of them were there, but nowadays these are not done. But at least what we can do, some kind of a puja, part, japa, mala, or some kind of a adhyayan of some part, maybe Bhagavad Gita part or something. So we can do it in the morning. All this is Vedic karma. And then Vedanta Sanchintaya, means Chintan of Vedanta. Vedanta tells us that we are not just this Anatma, but we are Atma. So that kind of a Chintan about our own self, we can spend a few minutes sometime in this kind of a dhyana or meditation or Chintana. Paschat Bharata Moksha Dharma Kathaya. After that, I may spend some more time in the morning reading, listening to the Moksha Katha from Mahabharata. So Moksha Katha of Mahabharata was the knowledge part of the Mahabharata, where Bhishma gives this knowledge to Yudhishthira, and this Katha is also very important part which we can listen, or we could listen to the Vasishta Ramayana. Vasishta Ramayana is also the Uddesha part or the knowledge part, where which is the Yog Vasishta Ramayana, where Vasishta Muni gives Uddesha to Lord Rama. Sayam Bhagavatartha Tattva Kathaya. So in the evening, Sayam Bhagavat is the Grantha, which is a very, very beautiful Grantha, where there is a lot of all the Leelas of Bhagwana, all his avatars, all his incarnations have been very vividly described, and his Prayojana, why he incarnates on this earth, and what all Leelas he has done, how many people Uddhar he has done. So all this is very vividly described. So there is a lot of bhakti, there is a lot of jnana. Krishna avatar is very vividly described. Even the Uddhav knowledge he passed on to Uddhava in the Ekadasha Skanda, the 11th Adhyaya, is very vividly described. It's a very Vistrut Varnan, very detailed description of the Gita Ji there also. So all these is the Bhagavat. And so in the evening, maybe I can spend some time in listening or reading to the meaning of Bhagavata Katha. And Ratrau Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is the Vedantic type of a meditation where we, do Chintana, Dhyana of Atma Swarupa. And this, there are several ways we can do this. A Guru can guide us how we can do this kind of a Vedantic meditation, Nididhyasana. So I should spend some time, or at least if not, should spend some time in introspection, our daily introspection. Kalo gacchati na sharira bharanam prarabdha kanthapitam. Means I surrender all my fears, anxieties about my sharira bharanam, about my body nourishment, to the prarabdha kantha arpitam. Means I surrender these to the prarabdha. Prarabdha is our destiny, and destiny is made up of our past karmas, karma phala. Everybody has to endure this. So let me have the faith in this system, the Vedic system that has been described in our Shastras, that everybody will get their share, whatever karmas they have done, that will come back to us as our destiny, and that karma phala theory never goes in vain. So let me surrender to this and do not be worried about our anna, food, our how we will be able to nourish ourselves or be able to eat. God is always there, He takes care of everyone. So this kind of Shraddha, faith is necessary. Second shloka. Ajnanam tyajahe mano mama sada brahmatma sadbhavana sankalpana khilanapi tyaja jagan mithyatva sambhavana kamam sadhana shrama pare dhyanad jastram tyaja Krodhantu kshamaya sada jahi balat lobham tu santoshatah. So in this second shloka, we are addressing, the seeker is addressing his own mind. He is talking to his mind that what he needs to do. Ajnanam tyaja mama. Let my ignorance be removed, be gone, because ignorance is the root cause of all the durvasanas. Our Vedanta Shastra tells us that Ajnan is the mool cause, is the root cause of all the problems, all the Shadripu, all the, the way we behave, the way we have all these Durvasanas. All this is because how the Yagnan hides our Atma Jnana, our true self, our Atma Swarupa is hidden by this veil of ignorance. And that's why this can only be destroyed, removed or uplifted or lifted up by Brahma Jnana, Brahma Atma Chintana or Brahma Jnana. That is the ultimate way to relieve all this and achieve the ultimate reality of life, the Satya. But it's a long process. It takes very long time to achieve this Brahma Jnana or Atma Jnana, which is the ultimate goal for all the sadhakas. But till that time, at least, what we are told here is that we should do Brahma Bhava, Sadbhavana. Brahma Bhavana means that Bhavana, that feeling that God is everywhere, Brahma is Sarvatra, Ishvara is Sarvatra, that kind of feeling, at least if we can see it in the entire world as a Vishwarupa, or at least in all the Jivas as the Chetana, Padartha, or at least in some Swarupa, at least to begin with, into the Murti or into a statue, of the Lord, and from there, the Murti Swarupa, we Vistara, we more expand our horizons of seeing Bhagavata Bhav everywhere in this universe. So that is how we can slowly expand our Brahma Bhava, and then finally doing the Jnana Sadhana, we can lead to Brahma Jnana. How we can do this? Sankalpana Khilana Apityacha. We have to, all our desires, we have to get released or sublimate all our desires. We have to relieve ourselves from all desires, because the mool problem is the kamana. Kamanas will always keep on arising in ourselves to do something or the other. All these worldly desires that I want to achieve this, I want to do this, I want to achieve fame, I want to become have a lot of name, I want to accumulate a lot of wealth, I want to have these possessions, I want to have these people as my relations, and all these kamanas, they keep moving us from here to there in this world. And how we can relieve ourselves of all these kamanas? Jagata Mithyatwata Sambhavana. By understanding, by seeing the illusion of this world. Our Vedanta Shastra tells us that Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. So Jagat Mithya means Jagat is an illusion. And this we need to understand how Jagat is an illusion, because we see this Jagata every day, all the different names, forms, and all the different Nama Rupa that we see in this Jagata. How can it be an illusion? So illusion does not mean that it is not existent. It is existing. It is a reality. We can see it as a reality. But the reality is not this Jagata, but something which is beyond this, what is unseen. Behind all these Nama Rupa, there is this Asti Bhati Priya, or the Sat Chit and the Ananda, the Atma Swarupa or the Brahma Swarupa, which manifest. And that is the Adhisthana, that is on which the foundation of this Jagata is dependent. So this is the reality that we have to see behind all these names and the forms, all these differences. Behind all these differences, there is this oneness, and we need to endeavor, make efforts to see this oneness behind all these differences. So that is how we can relieve ourselves of all these desires. Kamam sadhana shrama paridhyanada chastram tyacha means all my desires be relieved by seeing carefully the efforts needed to fulfill those desires. In our worldly life, whenever we want to fulfill our desires, we have to keep trying a lot of efforts. We have to run around, do a lot of thinking, lot of planning, lot of execution, lot of work, lot of efforts, energies have to be spent to fulfill those desires. Suppose I have a desire that I want to eat something in one particular restaurant, then I have to, convince all my family, go there, eat, and then fulfill the desire. So a lot of energy, efforts is needed to fulfill these desires. We need to understand that this is how our desires are relieved. So there are two ways we can relieve the desires. One is by fulfilling those desires and doing the bhoga. The second is by understanding that this desire is not of worth, and just sublimating it with this understanding, we can relieve ourselves from this desire. And our Shastras tell us that the more you fulfill your desires, the more these desires arise. It is like putting ghee into Agni. That is how the Agni becomes more prajavalita, means it lights more, the fire is more lit by putting in some ghee or oil into the Agni. So this is how these desires keep on springing up, and we need to sublimate them. We need to, by understanding, we need to sublimate these desires. Krodhantu kshamaya sada jahidalat. Because apart from kama, krodha is another very, very important shatru, and in several times in Bhagavad Gita also Shri Krishna has told us kama, krodha is both are our shatru. We have to understand that anger is the biggest enemy. So we need to vanquish, we need to conquer this, we need to understand, destroy this. And the best way is by kshamaya. Kshamaya means by forgiving others, by understanding that others behave with their own nature, they are nimitta matra, and they are, having their own raga, dvesha, all their own guna, dosha, and based on this they are behaving in this particular way. So it's not just that I need to take it personally, but I need to understand with a very wide variety of my thinking. And this is how we can, in the 11th Adhyaya, also Bhagavan says, Sthane Rishikesha. Sthane means that everything is in order, it is okay, it is appropriate. If somebody is having a lot of anger, it's okay, I don't need to take it personally, and I need to understand. With this understanding, if I can forgive them, then I can get out of this anger myself. Lobham tu santoshataha. Lobha is another very important durvasana, kama, krodha, lobha. Lobha is something that greed of having more and more. The more I have, the more greed I have. Say I earn more money, I feel I should earn even more money. Whatever I try to do successfully, if I become successful, I have a more greed of doing it more and more, higher and higher. So this kind of greed about all the worldly possessions can only be controlled by having an attitude of satisfaction, santosha. Santosha is the best tool to have this kind of a satisfaction. Our Guruji tells us this is called as an alam buddhi. Alam buddhi means, okay, now it's enough is enough. I've had enough. I don't want more, because the more I have does not give me more and more happiness. And with that understanding, we have to get out of these lobha. And then the other way is then to give donations, to share our possessions with others, whatever we have, to share it with with the worthy people. I think that is the best way of reducing this greed. Third shloka. Jivhopastha sukha brahmam tyajamana paryanta dukkhe kshana parushyam mrudu bhashana tyajavrutha lapah shramam maunatah dussangam tyaja sadhu sangam balat garbham tu bhange kshana ninda dukkham anindhya deva munibihi ninda katha sansprute. So in this shloka, Vidyaranya Muni also tells us that the seeker is addressing his mind. He is saying, "Oh mind, oh my mind." He is talking to his mind. Jivha upastha sukha brahmam tyaja. So Jivha is our taste buds, and upastha are our sexual organs, with which we have these physical relations and have the pleasure of physical relations. So this, according to our Shastra, gives us a sukha brahmam. It gives us an illusion of happiness, of joy. And this we need to tyaja, we need to relieve ourselves. And how can we let go this illusion of joy? Paryanta dukkhe kshanat. The upaya, the solution that is shown here is that it gives rise to miseries. It gives rise to dukkha, because the more and more we keep eating, we may develop diabetes, or we may develop overweight or obesity. We may become lazy, and we may develop digestive disturbances, and we can develop many. Similarly, enjoying or just having too much of having physical relations also can create a lot of miseries by expectations, by several reasons, and ultimately it may give rise to miseries. So this, in our Shastras, is called the Pratipaksha Bhavana. So seeing the other side. Immediately, transiently, it may give some Brahma illusion of a joy or a happiness, but ultimately, in the final run, if we think from the different perspective, from our past experiences, from a longer term perspective, it gives rise to more miseries, and this is a different way of thinking. Parushyam mrudu bhashanatyaja. That means Parushya means harsh speech, because our speech is also a very important instrument that has been given to us. And many times some people have this habit of being very strict, very disciplinarian, very harsh. They talk to their near and dear ones, and this parushya, this harshness of speech, can be changed by making it more mrudu. Mrudu means softer words, using gentle words, being nice to people, inspiring others. So these are all the ways we can let go of this, because speech is a very important instrument. It can make or break our relations. Vrutha lapashramam maunataha. So some people have a habit of talking too much. They keep talking unstoppably, sometimes even irrelevant. A lot of things they keep repeating, and this is this habit needs to be practiced by the practice of remaining silent, thinking about what to speak, how much to speak, what is relevant, how much is needed, rather than just keeping on talking. So this is called alapashramam maunataha, by remaining more and more silent, by making it a habit of practice of remaining silent, thinking and then talking of what we talk. Dussanga tyaja sadhu sangama bala. So sangha, our company that we have with people around us, is also very, very important. Our Shastras tell us that Jaisa Sangha, Aisa Ranga. Means the kind of company we have, the kind of person we become. And that's why we need to let go of the bad company, Dusanga, about people who are just involved in this kind of, the worldly affections, that they are only interested in these ego-related possessions, creations of all these lobha, more and more. So all these are Dusanga, and this we need to let go. And how we can let go this? By remaining more in the company of the Sattvic people. That those are the people who are sadhu purusha, doing some satsanga with a gnani, with a mahatma. And this kind of company, this kind of our sangha will definitely help us to improve our inner our understanding perspectives, because sadhu people, sadhu sangha gives us a very different kind of an approach and attitude, because the way they live, the way they interpret their events in their life is completely different, and this gives us a very different kind of an attitude or an expression. Garvam tu bhange kshanat. Garva means our ego, our pride, that I am the doer, I can do this, I am doing so much. And this ego is a big obstacle in our progress towards, especially the spiritual progress. It may make us achieve a lot in this physical or the material world, but when it comes to spiritual progress, ego is one of the biggest impediments to us. And this needs to be destroyed, because with the understanding that it is bhange kshana, in a moment, in a kshana, it can be destroyed. Even ego of people like Raja Ravana, who had so much of wealth, so much of power, so much of strength, so much of fame, so much of sadguna, punya, but his ego could not be sustained. It was also destroyed in the end. And with this understanding, we need to destroy. Ninda dukkhama nindya deva munibihi ninda katha sanskrute. Ninda, the criticism, is also very painful for us. If somebody criticizes us, disrespects us, it is very painful for us. But how we can let go this? By listening to the stories of Deva and Muni. When they also incarnate on this earth, they also have to face a lot of criticism. Even a lot of Munis, Bhakta, devotees, Mirabai, and a lot of others, they have to face a lot of miseries, pain and criticism from their own fellow beings. And by this understanding that even great people, such people also have to undergo this criticism. So I am nobody, I can even endure this criticism. So by this understanding, we can let go of the pain of criticism. So practice makes a man perfect. All these solutions that have been shown, we need to keep practicing to make ourselves perfect. Next shloka is the fourth shloka. Nitram satvika vastu sevanataya swapnam sada jagara roga jirna mitashana jahi sada dainyam mahadhairyatah अर्थानर्थ परिग्रहं त्यज वृथा संसर्ग संत्यागतः स्त्रीवांछां त्यज दोष दर्शन बला दुःखं सुखात्मेक्षणा. So here says nidram sattvic vastu sevanataya. Nidra, too much of sleepiness, too much of sleeping, this is also durvasana. That does not help us to progress, and this we can overcome by sattvic vastu sevanataya. Sattvic, good reading habits, good habits in the night time. Suppose before going to bed, sattvika vastu sevanataya means we read some scriptures or we read some good characters, some inspiring books. Instead of listening to the TV till late night or seeing social media on our telephone, which are not the things that are sattvika and that will not help us to have a control or conquer over our sleep. Swapnam sada jagara. Swapnam means diva swapna or daydreaming. During the time also we keep thinking about, we are not aware in the present moment. This kind of daydreaming we can overcome by being aware. Sada jagarat means being sajag, always being aware and seeing our mind where it is going, our thoughts where they are going. And if they are going from one branch to the other like a monkey, jumping from one tree to the other or one branch to the other, our thoughts also keep going like this from one to the other. We can actually hold it back and bring it back and understand why our mind keeps going, and this can only be developed by awareness. Roga jirna mitashana jahi sada means that this roga, diseases are again biggest obstacles for us on our progress, and some of them are preventable, like by eating jirna and mitasha. Jirna means little bit, not too much, and mitasha means easily digestible food. So light food, and this kind of a food if we consume rather than eating very spicy, oily or food outside in the restaurants all the time, I think this kind of helps us on our spiritual journey. Dainyam mahadhairyatah. Dainyam means deenata, helplessness. Sometimes we feel helpless because we can't do much, especially when there are pandemics like the coronavirus happening. We have a lot of helplessness because we are not able to help people, not able to do much. But this we can overcome by great courage, dhairya, by great courage, by having a lot of patience that even this will pass one day, by having a lot of shraddha in the universal consciousness, in the God, that by some divine intervention, reason this is happening. I am unable to understand this, and having a great courage to endure this crisis or this, and having a lot of patience even on our adhyatmic sadhana. We need to have a lot of patience and a lot of enthusiasm. Both this may sound contradictory, but both these are essential on this inner journey. Artha anartha parigraham tyajapruta means artha. Artha means wealth, a lot of possessions, a lot of wealth we keep accumulating without even giving a lot of thoughts about it. And this is a artha which causes a lot of anartha. Anartha means it causes a lot of miseries. And most of the times if we see in the world, if we see around us, if we see in the newspapers, most of the crime, most of the miseries, most of the battles or feuds, or most of the countries, the fighting between people, most of the things are happening because of the wealth. So more the wealth, more it creates more problems, more miseries in this world. And this is one understanding that we can develop. Vrutha sansarga santyagataha. So useless company. Many of us have a habit of, having a lot of unnecessary gossiping, talking, sitting, chit-chatting, spending time pass. And many years ago it used to happen physically. Nowadays it is happening socially on the social media, and it is happening in several ways it can be done. So this we need to let go. We should not vrutha sansarga. We should let go of these vrutha, unnecessary, useless, avoidable things. Strivancham tyaja dosha darshana. Strivancham means attraction of the opposite sex. For the males it is said Strivancham means desiring to have some parastri, tyaja dosha darshana. And for the females obviously it is another way around, the opposite sex, by seeing the other side. The other side is the dosha darshana. Dosha darshana means how it can create a lot of problems. For example, in a married life, if somebody is attracted to another person of the opposite sex, and this can actually destroy the family, it can create lots of problems, it will destroy the relationships, it will destroy the children's career, also the future of their children. So all these understanding, if it is there, then people will think that this is called the pratipaksha bhavana. It is the understanding of the other side, thinking about the long-term consequences or the other side of this what we are thinking. Dukkham sukhatme kshanat. So dukkha, a lot of in our life there will be several situations, circumstances where we may have dukkha. It may be because of pain, miseries, because of our mental condition, because of some of the disrespect, some situation which was beyond our control, and which we can let go of this pain, misery or suffering by thinking about our sukha atmik kshanat, our own atma, which is sukha swarupa. It's a blissful nature of our own self. We have to understand, we have to have viveka. It is very difficult during the dukkha conditions to think of our sukha swarupa, but we must realize all the time that atma is the ananda swarupa, that real bliss is all inside, which is not outside. And with this understanding, we can reduce at least some of our pains and miseries, because it does not come from outside. Next shloka, the fifth one. Dara sakti manadarat sutadhana Saktim tvanityatvatah Sneham moha visarjanat karunaya Naishthuryamantatstyaja Audasinya samashraya tyaja suran Mitrariturvasanam Sarvanarthakarandashendriya ripuhu Ekantavasajahi. So the says Tara Saktin Anadara. Tara means our spouse, our better half, and this we have an asakti, an attachment with our spouse. It is very natural, and this we can let go by anadarat. Anadarat means being indifferent, but being indifferent does not mean that we don't become sensitive to their needs or requirements or their expectations. This anadarat means shobhana vritti. Guruji tells us that it is a shobhana vritti, that this spouse is meant to give me happiness. That is the kind of understanding if we have, then it gives us a lot of expectations, and sometimes it gives miseries because that person is also an individual, has also his or her own likes and dislikes, and that's why there will always be friction between these expectations and on both the sides. And that's why all the time we may not become happy. Sometimes we have to let go, sometimes we have to, so there is a give and take relationship. So this is Tara Sakti Manadarat. Suta Dhana Asaktim tu Anityatva. Suta means children, Dhana means wealth. So we also have an attachment, asakti, towards our children and with money. And this is some of the asaktis that we have with Tara, Suta and Dhana. Tara is a spouse, Suta are the children, and Dhana is the money. We can let go or overcome this by understanding the Anityatva. Anityatva means its impermanence. It is very transient. All this is not going to be there. When children are small, they are always with us. But it is not going to be permanent that they are always going to be with us, always stay with us. When they grow up, they become more mature, they become independent, they are going to fly away. Like all the birds, when their kids grow up, they fly away. Similarly, money also, it will come and go, sometimes it will be there, sometimes it will not be there. So it is all impermanent. This is nothing which is going to be permanent. With this understanding, we have to overcome this. Sneham Moha Visarjana. Sneham means Atishay or excessive attachment, especially the physical attachment, the infatuation. This we can let go by understanding that this is because of the moha. It's because of the delusion that we have. With this understanding, we can visarjanat, we can let go of this excessive sneha or attachment or infatuation. Karunaya Naishturyam Antatstyaja means Naishturya. Naishturya means that kathorata, that Naishturya bhav means that cruelty, that harshness. Sometimes some people have this kind of a very harsh nature, very strict, very disciplined, very, kind of bullying type of nature. And this Naishturya, we can let go by having Karunaya, compassion. Karunaya, feeling for the other person, feeling the pain, the miseries that the other person is having, feeling that if I am in that position, how would I behave? With this kind of an understanding, we can let go this. Audasinya Samashraya Tyaja Suran Mitrari Durvasana. Udasin. By being Udasin means by rising above the dualities, the sides, by not taking sides and going to the core of our samatva, our equanimity. We can let go of these vices. Samashraya Tyaja Suran Mitra Udasina. How? Means we have a lot of differences between our friends and our enemies. We like one, we don't like the other. So we have this raga, dvesha. We want to have our friends with us, but enemies, we want to let them away from us. Some of the relatives we like, we have raga. Some of the relatives we don't like, we have dvesha towards them. So these are all these divisions, vices. These are all our discriminations, differences that we have in our mind. And we have to go above this. We have to become more samatva, more udasina, more indifferent, we rise above these dualities and try to see the sameness in everyone, and this is what will help us to let go of this durvasana. Sarva nartha karanda shendriya ripuhu ekanta vasajyahi means the biggest sarva anartha karana, the great mischief mongers, the biggest enemies for us are inside, not outside. That is our shastras, what it always tells us. This dashendriya, indriya, ripuhu. These enemies are nothing but our dasha indriya, our 10 sense organs, which create all the mischief, and all the problems are created by this indriya because they are all paranchikhani, they are all going outwards, they are very chanchala, and these are the main problems. And that's why indriya sanyama, dhamma, indriya sanyama is considered to be very, very important. First part of the sadhana, even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has several adhyayas is talked about indriya sanyam, yada samharate chayam kurmongani vasarvashah, just like a crocodile, a turtle withdraws all its limbs, we have to withdraw all our sense organs. And in several areas, he has said that Indriyanam hicharatam janmanonu vidiyate tadasya harati pragnam. They are so powerful, they will take away the mind and they will, destroy everything. They will take away the buddhi also along with them. And that's why we have to let go this indriya. How we can develop this indriya sanyama? Ekanta vasa chahi. By remaining in solitude, by remaining more in ekanta, because here in ekanta the sansparsha, the connection between the indriya and the vishaya are minimum, and that's how we should try to remain as much as possible in solitude and let go of these by understanding, by vairagya, that this vishaya is not going to give me what I really desire, what is my lakshya, what is my goal. And with this understanding we can let go of these vishaya, of these objects of our desire by developing vairagya. And these are some of the important attributes for all of us seekers. Next shloka. Alasyam tvaraya shramam shamadhiya tandrim samuthanatah bheda bhranti abheda darshan balat mithyatvatah satyatam marmuktim nija marma karma kathaya krodham swasamyekshana akrosham kushalokti tasya jamana chindyah pramadad bhayam. Alasyam tvaraya. Alas means laziness, and we have a lot of laziness, not just physical laziness. We don't want to get up in the morning out of bed, but we also have manasik or bauddhik laziness, a lot of laziness in doing what we need to do, what is our goal, what we need to achieve, where we want to go, and a lot of tasks we don't try to finish, we try to postpone them. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. That is also kind of laziness. Whatever needs to be done, we should do it, finish it, the task quickly finishing. Tvaraya means immediately completing the tasks, and this is how we can get out of this laziness or this attitude. Try to finish whatever is at hand, don't try to postpone our tasks. Shramam shamadhiya. Shramam means lot of efforts, and a lot of us have an habit of putting in too many efforts, making new projects, going around them, doing a lot of efforts and doing some or the other. We are always on the move, always from morning till evening. A lot of efforts, shrama is going there, and here we need to slow down by shamadhiya, by slowing down, by becoming more quiet, by chilling out, by taking it easy, taking the life easy, not rushing through the life. This is how we can reduce these efforts, by understanding that whatever is needed, yes, I should do it. I need to prioritize my life. Whatever is thing that is I'm doing it unnecessary, avoidable, I can let go of these things. By this we can reduce whatever we are doing in life, so that we can get some free time for ourselves, for our studies, for our understanding, for our hobbies, for whatever we need to do. Tandrim samuthanata. Tandri is Tandra Avastha, is anywhere between the sleeping state and the wake up stage. So this is the Tandra Avastha. So when we wake up in the early morning, this is where we are in the Tandra Avastha, where sometimes our mind will tell us, okay, better go to sleep. Our buddhi may tell us, no, you have to do this. This is the task at hand. This is what you have to do in the morning. But the mind may say, okay, that's okay, let me sleep for some while. So here we have to talk to our mind. We have to, sambodhan. Samuthanataha means sambodhan. Try to address your mind. Try to talk with your mind. Okay, get up. This is an important task you need to do in the morning, and arise, awake, and don't stop till your task is completed. So this is the kind of the talk we can do with our minds. Even also after that, suppose we sit in some prarthana, japa, dhyana, or whatever we want to do in the morning. If we are not able to get out of bed, we are not able to walk in the morning, not doing our morning walk, or whatever is essential for us, then we have to actually sambodhana, samuthanataha means talk to our mind and convince our mind that this is important and this I need to do. And this is a kind of an attitude that we have to develop. Bheda Bhranti Abheda Darshana Balat. So there are a lot of Bheda Bhranti. There is a Bheda and there is a Bhranti, Brahma. And this Bheda Bhranti, see everything is different. A lot of confusion, a lot of ifs and buts are always there. And this we can come out of these by a view of oneness, and this is what Vedanta is all about, how we can see the one in the many. There are 5 types of Veda that are described in the Vedanta, and there are 5 types of Bhranti which have been described to us by our Guruji. I am not going to read details of this because otherwise we will not be able to complete all the 10 shlokas. But this is also how we can do it. Mithyatvata Satyata, reality of this world with the Mithyatva Buddhi. So we see this world and we think that this is the real world, but actually this is the illusion. That is what Vedanta tells us. And if we can learn to see this as a drama that is happening, everybody is working according to the roles that they have been given. When I am given several roles, I may be husband at home, I may be a father at home, I may be a worker at the workplace, I may be a devotee when I am with the Lord. So all these different roles that we must follow it with seeing this as a drama that is happening. With this, we don't get attached to any of our roles too much, and we don't get upset or perturbed by whatever happens in our life. Marma uktim nija marma karma kathaya. So we all have our marma points. Marma means those pressure points, which are very marmic, which are very sensitive. If somebody if somebody tells us, sometimes we tell somebody and push that pressure points, and that hurts the other person a lot. And these pressure points are very, very sensitive, and sometimes we try to hit, we say we hit below the belt, or we hit the person on the marma points, especially when it is a very sensitive point for them. It may be they may be having some complex, or they may be having a dosha, or they may be having a limitation which they are also trying to overcome, but they are not able to do it. And if we hit a person at that point, it will pain that person a lot. And this we should avoid. How can we avoid this? By thinking of our own nija marma karma kathaya. Means I think about my own pressure points, that how much it hurts when somebody hits me at these pressure points. Then with this understanding, with this thinking, I can come out of hitting others at their pressure points. And this is what it tells us. Krodam swasamye kshanat. Krodha, again anger. It's very difficult. Earlier it said by kshamaya, by forgiveness we can let go of Krodha. Here saying by seeing the oneness in all. If we can see the same Atma Tattva in everyone, if we see that the other person is also the same as I am, then I will not have Krodha. An example, beautiful example given by Guruji is when the tongue is bitten in between the teeth. The tongue doesn't get angry on the teeth because it understands that we are all one. So if we understand that we are all one, that even then somebody gives us some pain or miseries, we will not be angry on the other person. So with this understanding, we can get out of all this anger. Akrosham kushal ukti prastyaja means akrosha, a lot of aggression we may having for some particular person. We may have done something and we are having a lot of aggression, but when we meet that person, we should greet that person with a gentleness. Okay, hello, how are you doing? So this kind of a gentleness, if we kushala ukta Tyajamana. So with this we can let go of these aggression. With just gentle talking to the other person, we can let go of these aggression. Chindya apramadar bhayam. We have to destroy all the fears by proactively reaching our goal. Apramad means without being lazy, we should reach our goal, and that is the final goal, is to reach the Atma Tattva. With this we can destroy all our bhaya, because it's a nirbhay pada, it is abhay pada. Most of the bhayas are because of the disease or our death or our shortcomings, and all these are completely destroyed when we reach to our Atma Tattva, which is najayate namriyate vatadachit. It is neither born, it neither dies, nainam chindanti shastrani. It is never destroyed. So it will lead us from complete freedom from all these fears by understanding our Atma Tattva. Bhutartha smaranam vrutha shramadhiya praptam tuhane kshana bhavyartha vyasanam sada tyajamana prarabdha chodhye kshana shishtha shishta jana kriyam tyajavrutha kashthanusandhanatah snehatveshamatim sada tyajajanam Bhasman tatha sansmrute. So here again we are addressing our mind. Bhutatha smaranam vrutha shramatiya. We all have a habit of thinking about the past. Keep having thoughts of the past. Somebody has told us something, we remember that, we again relive it, again thinking about the past, and we get miserable, we get upset. A lot of past situations, circumstances, relations, talks, vyavahara, all these disturbs us a lot in the present moment. And this is all how we can let go this, by understanding that this is all vrutha shramadiya. It is all useless labor. All this is useless labor. I am unnecessary doing this. This is not helping me. Whatever needs to be done is from the past. We just need to recollect whatever we have learned, the lessons of the past, and we have to carry on. We don't need to remember all the events, all the situations, all the talks, all the exact conversations and get upset. So this is how we have to understand. Praptam tu hane kshana. We also get a lot of attached to our present objects and possessions. We may be thinking that, oh, I have accumulated so much of wealth, I have a good bank balance, I have good investments, I have this, I have that. So a lot of attachment, this also develops with us. How we can get out of this? By seeing the destructible nature. Hanek Shanat means in a moment it can be destroyed. The swabhava of all these objects in this world, the possessions, is called drashta nashta. Means it is seen today, it may be destroyed tomorrow. It is, it's all impermanent, it is not permanent. So with this understanding we can destroy, we can get out of this. Bhavyartha vyasanam sadatyajamana. The future, we have a lot of anxieties about the future. What will happen, when will all these, calamities or the pandemics go away. A lot of future, we keep thinking anxieties about the future. How we can come out of this? By leaving it to the prarabdha. Prarabdha chokti ekshana, leaving it to the destiny. There is a destiny, we must have faith in this destiny and we can leave all these future anxieties. Shishta ashishta janakriyam tyajavrutha. Means shishta, ashishta means what has been prescribed, what is not prescribed. This should be done, this should not be done. You should remain polite, should not become rude. All these, shishta, ashishta, janakriya, kriya that we need to do. We have to come out of this vrutha kashta anusandanat, by useless labor of efforts, about having too much of, getting into the details of what should be done, what should not be done. We should remain more natural. Sneha dveshamatim sadatya jadana. We should get out of too much of sneha and dvesha, too much of raga and dvesha, too much of love and too much of hate. We should get out of this by the understanding how janam bhasman tatha sansmrute, by seeing the fate of all these mortal bodies. The fate of all these mortal bodies, we see it is the bhasma. Bhasma is the ashes, it is going to be burned. By seeing this, we shouldn't have too much of attachment, we shouldn't have too much of love, too much of hate for somebody, by seeing the final goal of all these mortal bodies. 8th mantra. Adhyatmadibhavam sada tyajamana tapam swabhavekshana Vaishamyam samabhavatah parakatha vikshepamakshobatah dhikkarabhibhavam tu dukkhamanisham tadyogyata bhavana tajnasi shungshamasva krupaya karmakshaya tadanam. Adhyatmadi bhavam sada tyaja tapam swabhavekshana. Let go of these adhyatmic and other sufferings. There are a lot of sufferings. There are 3 types of tapa. This is adhyatmic, adi bhautika, adi daivika. All the 3 different types of miseries or that pains that we feel in our life because of our mana, buddhi, sharira, daivi means natural disasters, and because of some unexpected situations arising in our life. So how can we get out of this? Swabhavekshanat, by contemplating on our own self. That is, that our nature is such, our self is such that it is beyond all these dukkha, it is beyond all these miseries. That is how we can contemplate and come out of these. Vaishamyam samabhavata. Vaishamya means vishamta. We see all the differences in this world and how we can remain quiet, unperturbed by seeing the equipoise, the samabhavata. If we kind of seeing the order behind this chaos, then we will remain samatva, equipoised. Say for example, when we are stuck in a traffic jam, which happens very commonly here in a roundabout, and then if we remain just quiet for a few seconds, everything gets unfolded by itself. So there is an order behind the chaos. We may see the chaos, we should not get perturbed, just see, wait for some time, have patience, and everything opens up in its own different way. So this is how we can see the one behind these many equipoise samatva, behind all the differences. Parakatha vikshepa akshobhata. So parakatha means somebody talking, people talk about a lot of different things, and this creates a lot of vikshepa in our mind, disturbs us, and this we can remove by remaining akshobhataha, means remaining unmoved or unperturbed. We should not think what people are discussing about us. They may sometimes talk nice of you, sometimes they may not talk nice of you. People have a habit of keeping on talking about people. So that is something that we should not be worried. We should just know what we are doing. Is it right or not? If it is right, we keep doing it. If it is not right, then we change our course. So we have to have our own relationship with our own conscious. It is not that we don't listen to what people are talking about us. Yes, we talk, we listen to it. We try to understand whether it is really true or not. If it is true, then we adopt it and we use it in our life. But if we feel that no, their perception is different, my perception is this, then we have to keep continuing without getting perturbed or without getting moved. So that is how we need to live our life. Dhikkarabhibhavam tu dukkha manisha. Dhikkara. Some people may disrespect you, contempt you, give you a lot of disregard, they criticize you, dhikkar karte. Abhibhavam, then, and this gives rise to a lot of dukkha manisham. And how can we come out of this? By the understanding, which is a very higher understanding, very difficult. Tadyogyata bhavana means I am deserving of this. If we understand that yes, okay, I may have done something to that person, I don't understand, I don't think it is wrong, but that person thought it was very wrong, and that's why that person disrespected me. And maybe this was something that is beyond my understanding, maybe some karma phala, maybe something of the past that is lingering, whatever it is, I don't understand, but maybe I'm deserving, and from their perspective, I'm deserving of this disrespect, and that's why he contempted me, given me this dhikkara, and this understanding will relieve me of all my pain, sufferings from within. It will completely clean me from inside. So this is what is the understanding. Tajjnatajjna sishung samasva krupaya. So knowing or unknowing deeds by other people, those who have done to me, by forgiving them, shishung, by like a shishu, they are like a children, they are like child. And with this understanding, just for example, a child, if he does something which should not be done, we generally forgive the child, understanding that he is innocent, he is a child, okay, let go. We don't want to blame, don't want to, be angry on the child because it's a young child. Similarly, some adults have done something knowingly, unknowingly, some deeds to us which has disturbed us, which has harmed us. Then we should try to forgive them as they are childlike innocence. Karma kshaya tadanam, karma kshaya. So tadanam means physical assault. If somebody even does a physical harm or assault, and then the understanding how we can come out of this is karma kshaya. Karma kshaya means my karma with that person has dissipated, it has gone over, it has become null and void now. Must be some karma of the past because of which that person became violent, became angry, became physically assault. So our Shastri karma also does not tell us that we should do tit for tat. If somebody becomes violent to you, you also become violent to the other person. Just like Mahatma Gandhi said that when somebody slaps you, it's not that you have to slap somebody again, because that violence for violence, tit for tat will keep on doing the violence. It is our Shastras teach us the non-violent way, how we can remain calm, cool in all circumstances of life, how we can develop those kind of attitudes in all these circumstances of life. Some people may say that we are very tolerant, but that is our Hindu philosophy, that is our Vedic philosophy of our tolerance. The ninth mantra, Ayurgacchati petikami vajalam santyajya deham java gacchannindriya shaktayopi kulata yadvannaram nirdhanam prajna gacchati davadaha samaye needam rugim vaktvava gnatva sattvaram ashrayatma padavim deham vrutha makrutha. So So this is a very beautiful shloka. It tells us how our life is going very fast and we should do whatever we need to do as soon as possible. It says, Ayuhu gacchati petikam iva jala. Means just like, oh mind, it is telling the mind that just like the water is flowing out from a vessel very quickly, years are passing by, the life is passing by, so many years have gotten over. In a flash of the moment, if you look back at our life, many years, 20, 30, 40 years have gone in a flash. It looks like the life is passing very fast. Santyajya deham javat, and it is leaving this body constantly. The Kal Chakra is moving constantly. And our Guruji tells us, look at the second Kata. It keeps moving very fast, and that's how the time is going on very fast. That's how the life is leaving this body constantly. And it is giving an example. One example it gave was how water is flowing out from the vessel, but the other example is how kulta yadvanaram nirdanam. Just like a prostitute leaves a person who does not have wealth, because prostitute has a selfish interest, interested in the wealth. The moment there is no wealth with that person, wants to leave that person because it's not going to get anything out of that person. Gachant Indriya Shakti. Even the power of the senses, the Indriya Shakti also keeps leaving us every day, every moment it keeps leaving us. When we become old, our Shravana Shakti, listening skills, our Shotriya, the Chakshu Indriya also becomes weak, our vision also becomes weak, our taste buds also become weak. All this Indriya Shakti becomes weak as we advance in our age. Davadaha Samay Needam Nugin Bhaktava, just like the forest fire, whenever it happens, the herd of deer, they leave the forest. Similarly, it says the Indriya Shakti also is leaving us every time. Prajna Gacchati, even our intellect, our intelligence also keeps vanishing. The children are the most intelligent, they have a beautiful memory power. As we grow up, we don't memorize, we don't remember things as often, and that's why our intellect is also vanishing as our age advances. That's why it says, Gnatva Sattvaram Ashra Atma Padavim. Be in a hurry to take refuge, to take shelter of the path of the self-knowledge, our Atma Padavi, our own self. We should understand what is our own self, Atma. Our self is not this body, this mind, this buddhi, but it is this Atma, the consciousness, the Sarvavyapaka Shuddha Chaitanya. And we should be in a hurry to take this refuge because life is passing by very fast. Deham vrutha makrutha. Don't let this human form, this life go in waste. It's a very rare. It is durlabha. Our Shastras tell us that human life, after 84 lakh yonis, the species, we come to the human life. After so many punya we get, we achieve this human birth, we achieve this human life. And it is only in this human life that this attainment of this Almighty, to understand, to attain this oneness with the Almighty, and to attain this Atma Gnana, the Brahma Gnana is possible. To attain this divinity is possible in this human life. That's why that is the ultimate goal of our human existence, human life. And we should not allow this life to go in waste, and we should try and make each and every moment available to us in the best possible use of life. Make our goals properly, what is we need to achieve, how we are going to achieve these goals, and utilize all our life, whatever free moments that we have from our Kartavya Karma. Kartavya Karma are most important, our priority, but whatever time we have left, whatever time we should utilize for our goals, our worthy goals of our life. The last shloka, Dhairyairavat Shanti Dhenu Damana Mandara Vruksham Sada Maitriyadhapsarasam Vivekaturagam Santosha Chintamanim Atma Gnana Mahamrutam Samarasam Vairagya Chandrodayam Vedantarnavam Ashraya Nudinam Sevasya Mukti Shriyam. So in this final mantra, it tells us with all this Durvasana we have to take care, we have to let go. But what are the sadgunas that we have to empower ourselves? That is what the seeker needs. It says the first is patience, dhairya. And what kind of patience? Like Airavata. Airavata was a white elephant who came out of the Samudra Manthana. And elephants have a lot of patience. The way they walk, they are never in a hurry. They are very patient in all their efforts and endeavors. Shanti. peace of mind. The seeker needs a peace of mind because only then he can go on this sadhana, the spiritual journey. And this Shanti is described how the Kamadhenu guy. Kamadhenu is the cow which does not have any itcha. All its itchas are fulfilled. And that is the only way we can have our peace of mind. When all our desires are fulfilled, we are sublimated, all our desires, then only we can have this peace of mind. Otherwise, these desires will keep springing and will not allow our peace of mind. Damana means control over our senses, Indriya Sanyama, which is very important. And Amandara Vruksha, just like a Kalpa Vruksha or Amandara Vruksha, we should have the control over our senses. Maitri Adi Apsara. Maitri, the virtues like Maitri, friendship, love, and Mudita, all these virtues we should have, which gives us the happiness, just like the divine fairies gives us, Apsara gives us this kind of happiness. Viveka Turagam. Viveka means this power or this capacity to discriminate, to be aware, to use our intellect in the right way. And this is compared with the Turagam. Turagam means Uchchashrivasa. Turagam was a horse. So Uchchashrivasa also was a horse, was Indra's horse, was also produced during Samudra Manthana. And the horse had this capacity to, have a lot of viveka when they are walking, how to walk, when to put their steps, when they are climbing a mountain, when they are going down. They have a lot of viveka. And it helps us to reach our goal quickly. So if you keep walking towards our goal, we will not reach it fast. But if we go on a horse, we can reach there much faster. Similarly, if we use viveka or discrimination power, we can reach our goal much faster. Santosha. Santosha means satisfaction. Alam Buddhi, which is very important for us. Chintamani, just like a Chintamani jewel, because they are the happiness of all. And with this Atma Gnana Maha Amrutam Samarasam, the self-knowledge, the Atma Gnana, the Brahma Gnana, which is like nectar, which is like Amruta, because it is, the Amruta provides the Jivan, or it gives a life, it is life-giving, it gives a life, it gives, pumps the life into us. It's also that Atma Gnana is the provider of the life, because it's a Chaitanya. And it is a Samarasa. Samarasa means it is Samatva, it is having equanimity, it is same for all. Vairagya Chandrodayam. Vairagya is also very important. Detachment or dispassion or let go attitude. This with an understanding, just like it is compared with Chandra. Chandra means the moon, because moon gives a lot of peace and happiness, Shitalta. And this is what, when we get detached from Vishaya, it also gives us a lot of peace and happiness. That's why it is compared with the moon. Vedant Aranava Ashraya Anudinam. Take the shelter of Vedanta. It is the ocean. It is the Aranava. It is the ocean of knowledge. Every day, Anudinam, every day you take this shelter, Ashraya of Vedanta, Aranava, the ocean of knowledge. And this means that we regularly practice this reading, listening to our Guru, Shastras, and reading good books about Vedanta, doing Manthana, Vichara, Manthana, all our doubts, we need to clear all our doubts. And then we need to do some Nididhyasana, that is the Chintana or the Dhyana, Vedantic meditation. So Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana are the three sadhanas that we use in Vedanta to understand ultimately this Atma Gnana, which gives us the Sevasya Mukti Shriyam, which gives us the ultimate fruit or the ultimate benefit of this human life or the human existence, that is the complete freedom from all our miseries, pains, afflictions, sorrows, parichinnata, that means limitations, bondages. From all these we can become free, and this is what moksha gives us, and this is what we have to achieve during our lifetime. Moksha is not to be done after death, it is Jivan Mukti. It is during this lifetime we can achieve this by understanding this knowledge which Vedanta gives us. And with this we come to the end of the Durvasana Pratikar Dashakam. Iti Shri Vidyaranya Swami Kratam Durvasana Pratikar Dashakam Samaptam. Thank you all. So, we end with a prayer. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parak Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti.